hairstyle. Wait, can we change these quick? I feel like a Sims character. I could just, you know, I'll go curly tomorrow. The normal hair, but the normal drafts here from Xtreme and Aurora looking pretty even, honestly. A lot of people expected, yourself included, Lacoste, the Terrorblade Ame.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting TB after seeing the last two bans. They did remove Underlord, they did remove Brewmaster. Seemed like a good option. This just screams team fight from their side. You have Puck, you have Mars, Train Protector, big AoE spells. They have ways of countering that with Golem, but a lot of the times we see these Warlocks not caring too much about a team fight. They see an opportunity to drop the Golem, maybe get something done on the map, drop it to save themselves, still dying, and then maybe getting some farm. But yeah, the heroes in theory are relatively very tanky. On side of Aurora, you have Abaddon, who doesn't really die. You have Void Spirit, who is naturally tanky with his Resonant Pulse, very difficult to catch as well. And then you have Bristleback. This time around, it's going to be seeing red Bristleback. DM was the one who played the green facet Bristleback. It didn't end too well, but in this one, I think it's going to be more about him getting the auras on WS. You are playing against TB. A lot of value coming out from the Crimson Guard. So I think maybe even like Crimson Pipe, even though a lot of the times Bristles don't want to be buying double auras. They prefer to get like one aura and then start to scale with the Shard, with the BKB, SNY. We'll see if he opts to go for both of them, because it's a good game for actually two auras. And then on the other side, Train Protector plus Ancient Apparition, a support duo that isn't really the most damage, isn't really the way, like, you can't really rotate with these two supports. It's more about waiting post 10 minutes, waiting for your Puck to do something, you getting level 6s, and maybe follow it up with the Ancient Apparition, land the arena. But other than that, I expect Xtreme Gaming to have a bit of a slower game.
Yeah, not your traditional support duo, two kind of fives here. And FY on the Train Protector, it's not really his showstopper style, although he's been kind of expanding the hero pool. I feel like for a long time in his career, he was very keyholed into a lot of showstopper style heroes, and now he's had a much bigger hero pool later in life. But you consider that where it's not your Blink Initiator and getting that Hex or having that controller, like Mira's got Shadow Shaman, and I feel like they have more opportunities in terms of jump with both the Void Spirit as well as the Shadow Shaman to kind of make their aggression for Aurora, and I don't know if they'll be completely able to handle that. I'd be ready to see. Kaori with the Warlock, I don't know. I want to see him be conservative on the Golem. I don't want to see him dropping it.
No, the first one, even like the second one is okay. Everything after second feels like a little bit of a waste.
We know this guy is very willing to just let him rip off cooldown. Speaking of Kaori, just hitting away at FY, trying to cause some difficulties into pulling the creep wave, which he's done successfully. Pulled it back over. Double melee lane for the side of Xtreme. And FY again, just continuing to try and will hit away at Kaori. Can't hold that sentry, as they've got the sentry off in the trees up in the high ground that's able to see anything that's going to be blocking the camp.
Most importantly, they are securing farm for V-Tune. This is a hero that if he has a bad laning stage, if you're not winning your lane with Ava, your Radiance is delayed by quite a lot. And so far, pretty much having the perfect CS on this Abaddon. Sitting on top of the CS chart, has still more 3 creeps close to him. Gotta check the mid lane how they're doing. Void Spirit has the upper hand in this one. A lot of teams do. Like, in theory, this is a counter for Puck, especially in a game where two supports don't have any real lockdown, unless you're gonna be committing with the Overgrowth. You don't have that like follow-up stun or follow-up silence onto the Void Spirit, so should be pretty good Void Spirit game.
Yeah, one of those heroes that really excels with the freedom. Fitamon's on to XXS. He'll heal through it, but they are under the tier 1 tower, just trying to get as much farm as they can. V-Tune, he's been the standout for me through this tournament, coming in as a stand-in and just trying to, I will say, make a name for himself. He's done quite well. I think all but like one game, he's had a really good start.
Yeah, everything pretty much except that Medusa game, which was definitely not on him. They did not ban Anti-Mage, and they picked Medusa for him, so kind of blaming whoever was drafting or saying that Medusa doesn't need to be protected, which ended in 22 minutes yesterday against Tundra. But other than that, his performances were really good.
Kodo against nothing to say. Their panel was saying that nothing to say, has not lost with this hero just yet. It's going to take a lot of work from him to outright win this game, but open up some space for Ame, and maybe he's got a chance to help out early on. Ame, 22-5. He's kind of quiet here down bottom. No surprise going into the Falcon Blade, having that early cheap item and looking to just kind of lane here with the Ancient Apparition. What does AA offer to you early? Because he's looking for a quicker 6. He needs that Ice Blast, but the effectiveness, is essentially nothing.
Pretty level 6, especially because you have no slow, no stun in the lane. Maybe if you were playing with, I'd say, carry Dragon Knight, there is a bit of a combo. Maybe some Sven level 1, level 2, maybe even level 3. But other than that, it's a lane where they can pull. They can go to the triangle and stack as much as they want with Mira, knowing that Bristleback cannot die. He already made 1 stack of the big camp, which is definitely going to be going in favor of Bristleback. He wants to get those stacks going as fast as possible. One of the best heroes in the game to clear the stacks with as well from the off lane. Mira doesn't get the 2nd stack. Does get the stack this time around on the Ancient camp.
FY making a stack on one of those camps, so he's trying to set something up maybe for XXS. Especially we've seen some Mars lanes kind of fall off pretty quickly, but FY moving down towards bottom, I think essentially realizing that 1v1 against VTune, XXS should have a relatively okay time. He's able to make that rotation away, but mid, it's both supports for Aurora. Shadow Word on nothing to say. Uzurior back. Mira thinking maybe he could go to the Shackles, says he's only got that level 1, but they find WS. Cold Feet slowing him down, might be able to freeze him over, and this will do it. And that means that WS is going to die for first blood, going the way of Ame. That is what they needed to kind of get this lane started and get the ball rolling. 6-minute runes, however, is a regen rune bottom for Makoto.
Controlling the runes, both of the supports making that 6-minute rotation towards the mid lane. And Puck is going to come in, Living Armor onto the tower, trying to keep the tower healthy and alive. Makoto knows that he can play aggressive, try to push nothing to say out of this lane before he's even level 6, having that regen rune. And knowing that he can do whatever he wants. He is level 6, and 2 supports can't really lock him down, so he's playing as aggressive as possible. And now, both supports from Aurora, the backstab move onto XXS, who was left alone, which means that he is level 6. So potentially, let's see who can come. Because Treant Protector doesn't have TP. He TP'd to the bottom lane, Puck TP'd to the mid lane, so he's kind of on his own if they decide to dive.
Yeah, they do have Ancient Apparition. Maybe he can come over. This feels like it's going to be 7 minutes going the way of Aurora. They even want XXS as the +1 on it. Is anybody going to make the rotation to try and help him out? The Shadow Word is there. He goes down and lands that spear, but 4 heroes showing up at XXS. He's going to be caught, killed. Nowhere for him to go. That'll mean that they're going to be able to try and swipe the other shrine, but immediately Void Spirit wants to defend this. And with FY taking all these quills, he'll be sprayed down. X-Nova, well, he doesn't have a lot of mana to his name. Aether Remnant connects, and WS has a double kill. They get 3 kills around the map. They get both shrines as well. And that goes perfectly for Aurora, as they're able to come over quickly and get some response.
It needs to be nothing to say, but he already TP'd to the lane. Like, he needs to be active. He is the playmaker for the team before Mars gets the Blink Dagger. Supports and your carry can't really do much. They need some kind of a setup. They need the arena. And it's definitely showing that they can't really slow them down. They can't stun them, which allows them to move freely across the map. And Makoto already level 7 on this Void Spirit. And most importantly, for this like carry-to-carry matchup, Abaddon is getting a good amount of last hits. On top of the network, he got a kill, he got a last hit, which means that his Radiance timing is still going to be good.
Losing both these shrines, slowing down your supports from getting to their level 6s that are so important for Xtreme. Ice Blast early on is just such a big impact spell, especially when you're going for these solo pickoffs, and you can try and by solo I mean somebody on Aurora being solo, getting these pickoffs and getting that Ice Blast to land and get these kills and work that maybe with a Dream Coil. So can you get these catches? But with them being slow to the mark, it's much tougher for Xtreme to really find some options.
Treant Protector is only level 3 at the moment. And he's going to stay unless they can make something happen, which is going to be pretty difficult. Again, your supports are under-leveled. They definitely need those level 6s. You did mention Ancient Apparition to have that blast, combine it with either Arena or a Coil. And if they don't want to be taking the fight, they can always almost walk away. Mira trying to scout things out, what's happening in this bottom part of the map. His Observer Ward gets dewarded.
FY is caught with the 8th Remnant, just a tanky hero overall. Not going to die to Makoto. Mira was trying to come over and have some help. Not going to happen. As, you know what I've noticed too, nothing to say, just has had this bottle backpacked for a while, empty. Arena down on 2. That'll catch Kaori. Vici can't help, but nothing to say is into the fight. And has borrowed time. Aphotic Shield is popped. Not going to pop the borrowed time, however. That'll send Mira and Makoto over to the Tier 1 tower mid to try and attack and get this without defense from Xtreme.
Any kind of kill they can get for Xtreme Gaming, it does feel good, considering the lineup that they do have. It's a team-fighting lineup, both supports with not too much damage. FY getting initiated on, another jump, another Remnant ready.
Vitun's also here. This is something that he's been doing quite often in these games. He's not afraid to get involved early. Dream Coil gets committed. They try to get the deny, but it'll be a tower for the Dire.
Not just that, but we are seeing carries, and I'm a big fan of those carries that are tending to be slightly more active. 10 minutes in, coming to help take the mid tower if the tower hasn't been taken, and also secure their rune for their mid laner. You said his bottle was empty for a really long time. XXS. Try to maybe land the spear. Can't really get a kill on Abaddon, but try to put slightly more pressure onto him, knowing that he doesn't have borrowed time ready yet.
Xnova one creep away from getting that level 6. If he can get this here, maybe they can turn this fight around if they go and play forcefully. He already made the jump in, but he's got that illusion rune to take the cold feet off. And Xnova still sitting here, just split experience away, and finally the illusion dies, so he'll end up getting that level 6 and has access to Ice Blast. Having that Ice Blast gives him an opportunity to get these kills, but the lockdown is what's going to make it more difficult. It's almost relying on Arena Spear or Dream Coil to really land an Ice Blast. If you can get lucky and fortunate enough to have one fly through on maybe a stationary target like the Shadow Shaman, you can go after Mira there too. But they're coming in. Bottom tier 1, going to be pressured. Kaori, he does have the 2 charges for the Grimoire. There are 4 heroes bottom. He might just start to read and write down that
drop
got this golem.
After he sees this living armor, let's see if he drops the golem.
Arena, Spear, Ame here, Ice Blast flying in. That's on the borrowed time. And he gets silenced before he's able to use that Chaotic Offering initially, but the Ice Blast hit on the Vici, and they don't have the damage to follow it up. They get split in the fight, and XXS is going to die, and so is Xnova. Everybody rotating in. Ame thought maybe he could get a chance of getting this kill. Unfortunately for him, the rest of the team, they just kind of get split off, and they can't get this, despite the fact that they were able to silence Kaori on that initial Chaotic Offering.
Saved it for this one. Knew something was cooking. B-Tune manages to survive. Gets his relic, didn't die a single time. We did say that his deaths throughout the tournament have been pretty low. I just gotta double check the stats, and this should be the tower. Without Arena, without Coil or Ice Blast, Xtreme Gaming, they really can't take the fight.
You gonna crunch the numbers on deaths there?
Yeah, he's actually the second best. Nisha having 1.57 average deaths per game, and V-Tune 175.
Wow.
So we were not wrong. Like the feeling that we got from the games that we did cover from Aurora, he definitely is playing very cautious, and they've been winning most of their games.
It's impressive too, because they've had they had the SmackDown game where he lost as that Medusa, but that didn't really kill his numbers too crazily. In the one game that they lost when he was Shadow Fiend, he died twice. He had kept that game at 9-0, for the longest time, and then he just died twice in succession, and they lost the game. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, that
for
Medusa
Aurora.
game kind of swayed the stats. 0-4 and 0.
Not even that many deaths in a game like that, too, but that game also ended in 22 minutes. So not a lot of time to die. You see FY just down here looking to soak some experience, get to level 6, so now he's got the overgrowth. It has been a struggle. Both supports for the side of Xtreme are in a rough way. Xnova not getting a lot of farm. FY, he's got Tranquils. He's going to try and farm up anything that he can. But both supports for Aurora are farming well.
Every single rune belongs to Mikoto. Buck doesn't like to play these type of games.
No.
He's been in this area of the map where they have an observe ward, so he was farming 2 camps at the same time, pretty much what Queen of Pain did in the previous game, and also farming 2 camps at the same time in the triangle with the curveball facet. So his farm is still okay considering everything. I think there's gonna be quite a lot more issues in the next few minutes where they don't have a way to start a fight until...
Ame. He sunders, but V2 is here. They have Chaotic Offering ready to go. Nowhere for Ame to run, and Aurora still just putting the hurt onto Xtreme. This is not working out for the side of Xtreme Gaming at all. No matter how much they bring, no matter the tables, the ladders, the chairs, Team Xtreme Gaming just cannot find an answer. And Aurora, they're 15 minutes in and they're going to just pressure. Why not go? Why not continue on?
They feel how weak they are on side of Xtreme Gaming right now. They can't take the fight. The TB doesn't have ulti. It needs to be Mars, it needs to be Puck combined. I think they need to bring these 2 heroes with Ancient Apparition ulti to be able to land a kill. If they just do 1+1 combo, I don't think it's enough. Maybe you can get a kill on Shaman, one of the supports, but other than that, everybody else, they're not dying.
When you're behind like this as an Ancient Apparition too, there comes a point where your level 1 Ice Blast just doesn't even feel effective anyway. When you lack the lockdown and you lack the damage to follow it up, Ice Blast is one of those spells that just feels as though a fly has landed on you and you swatted it away. Aether Remnant, nothing to say. Fine for now. XXS does have this blink, but they've got the Hex. They caught, nothing to say to start. Spear's going to be thrown across, not doing enough. Borrowed time, the arena's down, and now they've got themselves the overgrowth.
Coming in
Ice
late.
Blast late to the game, and this is not looking good for Xtreme Gaming. I say that though, they try to go after Mira, they're trying to get the damage out of the Shadow Shaman, they end up losing Xnova, the Spear's gonna be pushing back
healed up.
Makoto, and now Shadow Shaman with the Shackles able to heal up enough, but eventually dies as they get both supports on the side of Xtreme. They'll look to continue on, and nothing to say who's gonna jaunt over to the Illusory Orb. Another one there, refilling the bottle to 2 sips with the Bounty Room, but Makoto, can he catch here? On Nothing to Say, yes he can, under the tower too! Another phase shift Illusory Orb. Is there another jump for Makoto? No, it's on cooldown for another 18 seconds, but Nothing to Say, he can't quite commit to just TPing out unless maybe there's an Aether Remnant that catches him. That's why he can't really TP out in that moment, so now he's gonna have to run even further. Nothing to Say now in the trees, hoping to God that nobody sees him, but the Resonant Pulse doesn't care about sight. It's got the damage anyway. Makoto gets the kill.
Oh man, this is just funny to watch. One of the finest creations we have in this batch with the Arcane Rune. Literally no cooldown whatsoever, but nice play from Makoto. He TP's in, has 1 Astral Step. Astral Step level 1 is really long cooldown. It's 25 seconds of reset.
He's in trouble. Chicken Fingers. The Hex, the Shackle, the damage. They talked about this on the panel. The Illusion's just taking care of Mira. They have an Ice Blast flying through, but it's just well too late, and it's not going to land on any of these heroes because they don't commit to get the kill on Ame.
It's very difficult for Xtreme to play the game right now. Fighting into pipe,
go
most of their damage. He wants the Sunder.
Ooh, Sunder. WS, half health, but now where's the follow-up part of this fight? It's not there. So Fatal Bond's Chaotic Offering, Xnova's going to get run down by V-Tune, who puts that Aphotic Shield on, takes care of the cold feet, and is able to run freely away. V-Tune continuing to just get involved, and now he's got this Blink Dagger. And
oh, I like this pickup.
That's troublesome.
Usually your Blink Dagger is not your second item by any means, but knowing that the only way he dies is if they lock him inside of the arena, but because of the borrowed time, he's not taking damage, so he can always blink out. Very smart thing coming out from Vitun.
Roche pre-20. Timings are starting to line up for Aurora. They can put the pressure on. They can back up towards Tormentor, take the 21-minute Shrine when it becomes available. There are a lot of options here for Aurora as they are screaming through this first game. 12-3, Xtreme just not having an answer. And I don't know if they will for a while. If they can turtle this game, maybe, but it is, yeah, that percentage seems appropriate.
Might even be slightly
generous.
High. Yeah, I'm talking about the 7% being too high. This game, and knowing Xtreme Gaming, they're a type of a team that will call GG if they feel like they can't do anything in it. Maybe even like one fight earlier than the other teams.
Yeah, the Kaka influence of knowing when it's over certainly shows with Xtreme. So they still take over the Radiant side of the map. This tower getting low, but now Mira ready for a move like this. FY comes in, nothing to say is there. They've got the silence to go to the arena as well as the Spear of the Dream Code is going to be placed onto this Shadow Shaman, who's alive for now. Ice Blast will take care of that. It actually hits onto 3 heroes, but FY still dead. They'll end up taking the trade. Nothing to say in the back line to TP out. Aether Remnant not going to be in time from Makoto, despite the fact that he's got this haste.
And their catch is also pretty limited. If you take Shadow Shaman first, take him out of the equation, it's pretty much Void Spirit with Astral Step. And then if one is on cooldown, one Astral Step is not enough to be able to close the gap, the long distance gap, to be able to get the catch with Remnant. But they do have the damage, they do have sustain. Kaori will get the shard for himself.
That's nice. Always good to have for Warlock. Ancient Apparition, bottom of the net worth. It's one of those heroes, you just don't have anything going on. You feel like a creep. You're hoping that Ice Blast does something, but you're pretty easy to kill. Just 900 health. You get jumped, you're just dead. That's it. You get melted. Xnova desperately looking to get a 21-minute Shrine. But Mira's already here. Problem is, you've also got the Bristleback and the Warlock at your Shrine. They're going to try and TP to have an answer for this, and they'll spear him out, and they'll get the Shrine, but there's not going to be a fight afterwards, and nor should there be. They at least get that.
He's still not fight ready. He does have Manta Style available. 1k gold saved up, but I feel like his damage in this game is like very low, where maybe we're talking about like 2,000 damage compared to Vitun, who is definitely unlocked. He's very ready to take the fights, has that Blink Dagger we talked about. A little surprised that he didn't go for Manta Style at all. Like going for Orchid, I understand that they want to have extra bit of lockdown. It's good against TB if his Manta's on cooldown. Great against Puck to try to lock him down, but I see that Puck...
Ice Blast?
Oh.
And the Spear, WS.
He has Aegis,
yes.
He has Pipe, and also another barrier that they can throw on top of him.
Still just level 1 Ice Blast as well. He has the Shard with it, which is nice, but just not enough. Now you don't have Ice Blast to defend this push either, and maybe make a move on a Blink Spear back towards your base. You don't have that follow-up. That's an issue. And that tier 3 is going to be taken at 22 minutes into the game. Aurora looking to really get to game 2 quickly.
There's that Orchid. Nothing to say, needs to be careful. Vitun keeping the distance, letting WS take care of the buildings. Plus Shadow Shaman as well. We're still holding the Aegis on Bristle for 50 seconds.
Vitun, if he finds the right spot, could just blink in Orchid onto Nothing to Say. Like you said, he's keeping the distance, making sure not to get caught. But this mid set of racks are gone, and there's no answer. Xtreme, they are struggling. I need to buy time maybe for the combination of Ame and Nothing to Say to get to these next items. Maybe that BKB for Puck is going to be what they need to start to find a kill here or there. It all starts with one pickoff, but they only have 4 kills in 24 minutes, and Ame's been caught. He's shackled. The illusion's doing work. He doesn't want to let go on Mira, though. Given the Pavis, and they've got the hypnotize. He gets the Sunder off, but V-Tune's got the borrowed time. The TP attempt out, and that will be an escape for Ame.
All right, not a bad play. Chicken Fingers and Hex was coming off cooldown.
Yes, Ice Blast is going to be with the Shard. BKB, the turnaround, and free to leave, but also free to continue on forward. They've got the Chicken Fingers, the Hex, and the Shackle now coming through again onto the bars. FY is dead. BKB from XXS. WS speared away, but not dead, not even close. Nothing to say. Needs to be careful as he'll retreat away from the fight, and so will Ame. But now they're turning back around. They're going to go in with the Waning Rift. That's the Silence onto 2. It's onto the Void Spirit as well as the Shadow Shaman goes in and has that foul play, but he's still alive. He gets the Shackle onto nothing to say. You don't have Sunder anymore, Ame. And that's going to be a double kill for V2. TP out from the Ancient Apparition, but they can't even kill the Shadow Shaman.
It's very difficult. They don't have enough damage. Like, even with the combo that they use on Bristleback, he still doesn't die. He has BKB available. Ame's dealing good amount of damage, but it still doesn't feel like it's enough. These silences are starting to add up. Them having 2 silences from the Void Spirit with 2 charges on Aghanim Scepter, and there's the Golem. Golem plus the Snakes immediately dropped. Orchid as well on Abaddon. Puck doesn't get to play the game. Sitting at 2,000 gold. If he blinks in aggressively, could be a GG for him.
Certainly could be, and FY! Oh my god. This is the second time he's lost the courier with the Pavis on it. Ugh. Breaks my heart. Support struggles, you know?
Might be slightly tilted playing Train Protector in a game like this. Not very fun. Same goes for Ancient Apparition.
Yeah. You just kind of get to that point where you're thinking, is it time to spam voice lines? You can't really even leave the base that far. Trian can, and he can try and play some of these Eyes of the Forest, but they're not really in a spot where they can use them too effectively.
Now, he needs to get out and try to place those Eyes. Right now, does have 1 available. Kaori, he does see him.
Oh, they've got a sentry, FY. He's even trying to walk over here to maybe even pick up this piece for the Pavis. He'll just hide right outside, and Tumbler's Toy making a mad dash.
Successful.
Yes. He got it. He doesn't have to rely on the courier going out to the secret shop anymore. He said twice was enough. Give me my goddamn energy booster. I'm allowed to have an item in this game.
15 more seconds, and then he can use the courier. I think TP out and finish that item. It's a big increase of the damage when you use it on Terrorblade. Solar Crest, XXS, blinks out. BKB available on him if he needs the TP out. No BKB piercing tools, Golem on cooldown for 50. So they need to get out and try to split push as much as they can. Use these TB illusions, try to creep skip with Buck. Problem is you're playing against Shaman, you're playing into a lot of these silences, so you might get punished. But I think you need to risk it. You can't just allow yourself to sit at the base and get any farm like that gets near to your base. That's pretty much the only farm that they're getting right now, except for TB, who's outside of the base, and then you see XXS, who managed to jump over the potential gank. It is time to push it in. Roshan, good respawn in 2 minutes.
Got another tower. And continuing to farm. Level 15, Ame's trying to give him a chance. Trying to get a shot. But currently, it's tough. They're struggling to find anything in Makoto. Gotta be careful. Take the Eyes of the Forest out. They've got that gem, of course, on Makoto, so he's able to keep this vision away from Xtreme. I've also got that True Sight on the Remnants with the Shard. So it's hard. It's very tough. Multiple ways to just kind of get rid of all this vision.
Item is still not finished on FY.
Yeah, he's got it on the...
Courier's coming.
There it is. Solar Crest. It only took 3 attempts to deliver. Now he wants that Blink Dagger. Vitune protecting that Arcane Rune. Not gonna swipe it away from Makoto. No reason to. Another time that he's gonna have this Arcane Rune to make sure that he can stick onto these heroes. Right now, Xtreme feeling the pressure. Feeling like this game's got to call all 5 of their lucky numbers because their ass is in the jackpot, and they need to hit on every single one.
Aurora taking it slow. They are waiting for Roche to respawn. Doesn't seem like Xtreme Gaming wants to take that Roshan fight. And I did mention that Abba doesn't have Manta style. There are ways, like some annoying things that you're playing against. You do have, like, a lot of the times you will see carries being picked into Treant Protector, those that build into Manta style just so that they can get out of it. But you have your own tool. You have a Photic Shield. It's good against the Silence. It's good against the TB, causing potential confusion so that he can get Sunder on you, but BKB is a safer option. So going for a BKB, and I see a refresher. So V2's itemization as well has been really on point, I gotta say. Full Bloodthorn completed as well.
Not just the itemization, it's just Vitune in general. This guy is another game where he's 30 minutes in, 0 deaths. I know we've already said it 1,000 times, but the fact that it's always true it's insane. Blink in, Bloodthorn, it's onto the Mars. BKB, Ice Blast flying forward. They get the kill on Xnova, they're taking him out, but he already used the Ice Blast anyway. Meanwhile, Ame's just committing for the tier 3 tower, looking to get the racks over in the bottom lane. They got both supports, and now they're going to focus on their own tier 3. They're going to end up throwing the glyphs out there and the TP back. Ame just committing. Can they stop the TPs? No, they're not going to stop that one just yet. Abaddon, a long TP all the way back, but he got himself the range racks. He's getting a little bit of the better trades. He'll TP out, and he's back home safely. But there's the Hex. It's onto the puck, and now they've got no Abaddon into the fight. So there's a chance here that Xtreme can kind of fight back, but not with the Fatal Bonds the way that's there. And Nothing to Say melts away, and so does the top center axe.
They need to try to go for these type of a plays, because in straight 5v5, even though their team fight is strong with the heroes that they have, the deficit in terms of net worth is a bit too much, and Makoto ready to push it in. Him and Bristleback dealing the damage. Abaddon is coming in, and you still have fight through this Aegis, fight through this insanely farm Bristleback. And that's going to be Mega Creeps. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get all the green lights on the top.
FY not even safe. Back in the trees by his own base. I'm half expecting FY to be the one who calls GG first with the way the game has gone for him. And I wouldn't fault him. They have Mega Creeps. They've got everything still at the ready. This age is still available for WS. Looking to put the bookends on this one, so it's not just WS, it's XYZ. They'll finish it off and see if they can get XG to call GG. Tier 4's starting to drop. There goes one. Ame at the front. Hex is there. Vitune onto the back lines. Xnova gets 3 shot. There's the arena down. Spear, buyback, Ice Blast coming in. That's going to land. Cut across WS. But Ame's dead. They don't have this Terra Blade.
And he bought out. He bought out Scotty.
And they'll call GG. That will be game 1 for Aurora. 22-5. It took up 33 minutes.
It did feel like
it was all theirs.
Yeah, it felt like it was over after the laning stage. After XP Rune got picked up, 2 supports with literally no damage. And also, they played around the mid lane. They shut down.
The statistic that Xtreme Gaming goes the distance every single time. It's game number 2 coming your way with Bcap and Lacoste.
Trying to add to the CV here is Vitune, and he is looking to really make it happen. Lacoste, you're seeing a lot here on your screen.
I just had to double check, because I don't remember like Vitune having like the greatest results in the tier 1 toss back.
Toss, spear combo, Sunstrike.
Sunstrike off the mark.
Not on the mark, and now into the rest of the team. Tame the Beast, Mira searing chains, then has the Aphotic Shield for some help. Kept close with the disruption. Spells, spells, spells. No kills, kills, kills. Go on.
If Sunstrike connected, they would definitely grab a kill. But Vitoon, his best result in Tier 1 tournament was during the Dream League Season 26 when he got 8th place as a stand-in with Team Liquid. And so far, he's looking good. If Aurora manages to get a victory here, they're gonna reach the top 8, and maybe he can, you know, get a better result even after that. But yeah, I gotta agree with Jenkins, what he was saying about him potentially trying to get on a Tier 1 team. Right now, he's a standing. I don't think Aurora will swap Nightfall by any means. It doesn't matter what happened. He's kind of the core of the team as well, and we'll have to see. 2-0 Sunstrike, 1 for scouting things out, 1 missed on the toss back, but yeah, this lineup from Aurora, I gotta say that a lot of wombo combo, but also never underestimate the damage from Slaughter and Dragon Knight, what they can do, especially with the double saving supports. This one, not sure if this one counts towards a hit, probably is a miss.
Gotta watch those numbers. It's like the hook numbers. You go to get a creep and all of a sudden you're 0 for 5, but you've hit a catapult
You
and
saved
5 neutrals.
You saved your carry 5 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Never happens, but okay.
What do you mean? You just never get saved by your Pudge?
No, I'm the Pudge.
Oh, I do notice you play a lot of Pudge, Pango, and are you the savior that people need?
Most of the time, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm the PMA savior.
Just don't say anything.
Yeah, mute people.
Yeah.
Play the game.
Very PMA. Mid lane, Makoto, nothing to say, nothing to say. Struggled in that last game. Makoto had a free game last time, but it's all about the Sunstrikes this time around for Makoto. And they put Vici back on that Abaddon. He loves it.
Yeah. I mean, it's also what Nightfall likes to play. He loves to play these heroes that can't really die. This is not an easy lane by any means for XXS. He's sitting at 6 CS after the first 2 waves, which is still pretty good, because FY was trading against the Jakiro on the side. He brought the extra set of tangos. You can't allow to get like harassed by Jakiro and Abaddon at the same time. It is a bit too much for Slaughter offlane to handle.
Disruption on the Kaori. And I think for the first time this tournament, Kaori's not playing Phoenix or Warlock. Oh, no, he played Treant Protector 1 game, but for the most part, it's been 6 Phoenix games before this. So he's trying out something a little bit new.
Toss back onto the tower. Ooh, they missed. It was a nice try. Mira getting some really nice toss backs, but also when you use both Avalanche and Toss, that's 200 mana, and you not scoring the kill, I don't think you're going to be able to get as many opportunities.
Disruption again. This time on the Kaori, but he's got that Aphotic Shield, which will be popped immediately. Constantly throwing this Liquid over on him, the Liquid Frost. And you can see Vici not afraid to just kind of step forward on XXS and put him down quite low.
2 points in Curse of Avernus. It is a lot of damage. And one thing that is like carry-to-carry matchup that is going to be good in this game is Withering Mist. I think this is a bit of an underrated aspect of the hero. I don't think it's talked a lot about it, what it does, because Dragon Knight is the type of a hero that builds into Satanic. Like, this is going to be his 5th, 6th item if it comes to that point of the game, and it usually does. Average game time so far at the tournament was around 42 minutes the last time I checked in the morning. But yeah, enemies have their health restoration reduced by 35 if they're below 40%, so your Satanic is not going to be as effective.
Could make things kind of tough. So we've seen some of these carries try to stand tall with Satanic, but if that's not really the case against this Abaddon, I feel like you'll just flounder and fall. Especially, potentially after all the lockdown that Aurora has, as they've got Spear, Avalanche Toss, Ice Path.
A lot of repositioning tools.
Yeah.
Sure, playing 2 supports with saving tools is fine, but you're also playing into Bloodsport Facet, and you're also playing into Tossback, into Spearback, so you might not be able to be there for the team once they get the initiation going.
Got to be ready with that disruption if you can get there. Maybe he'll be holding onto an obs, throw it into the arenas. Ame this time around, still just kind of the same as the last game in terms of just the early farm was there for him. It's just the rest of the game was pretty open for everybody else. And for right now, Makoto pushing back this Ember all the way back to base. So he's going to open up some space and time for himself on this Invoker. V2, no surprise, same build, Radiance. Not really looking at anything else, right? Avalanche Sunstrike. X-Nova's dead. First blood for WS. That's the combination the panel was looking for. Very dependent on these Sunstrikes, and that's going to be one that lands. Put it on the board.
That's the lane where they have actual stuns, where they can set things up for the Sunstrike. Makoto this time around, he doesn't miss. And he brings another bracer. Really good start for MOUZ. Once you get to your second bracer, you get very difficult to push out of the lane. And that extra bit of a gold that you got, that extra 300-ish, it's gonna work magic towards your phase boots.
Already has 1,400 HP. Nothing to say out of the tower. And a couple shots from dead. Sunstrike's going to be off the mark. Tried to land it, but nothing to say. Wisely going left instead of straight back towards the tower. Percentage is probably not looking amazing.
Don't do him dirty.
I won't. I'll ask again in about 10 minutes, though. Some of the skill shots that we see in that board is ends up being Sunstrike, Arrow, Hook. I don't know where we normally sit in terms of numbers, but I feel like as long as you're shooting 40%, you're fine.
40% of the hooks, that's 4 out of 10. That sounds atrocious.
People get paid for less. Basketball players only shoot about 30%. Baseball players, I don't know.
It's even lower, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you're hitting 280? That means 28 out of 100 you're getting a hit. 40%'s maybe a little low for this, but Tornado coming through. Disruption for the save. Now they'll bring over X-Nova. They have a couple of heroes coming in, but now it's all about getting to that 7-minute shrine. V2 1v1 against XXS. He's happy to send the Slardar back. Just hitting him a couple of times. Another to say, finally has this Remnant. Kaori doing some decent damage, and the Remnant back towards X-Nova, and then we'll send that Remnant to mid as he's going to TP, refill that bottle, and heal up.
If Abaddon was level 6, I could see potentially V2 go and try to contest enemy XP rune, but for now, they're going to keep things simple. These mid rotations, they couldn't get much done out of it. Try to kill Nothing to Say a couple of times. He survived miraculously, but the biggest winner so far of the laning stage is Dragonite, sitting at 52 CS or 3,500 net worth at the moment.
Sin to the top, better than a TB game, but now they're coming over and they see Mira with this ward.
Arena's ready.
Yeah, but they definitely had the vision there, and that means they see Mira and Kaori. Ame wisely not being greedy for another wave or anything like that, just backs away, and this gank is already kind of over. And Ame, with the vision placed, able to protect himself, and already a much better start for Xtreme. Avalanche misses Nothing to Say, but Cold Snap, regen rune picked up by Mira, forcing the Remnant out by the Ember. Both supports for both teams sitting here. Leaves a 1v1 bottom, and V2, we've seen what he can do with farm. We've seen what he can do with space. And Aurora definitely showing a lot of positivity for him on this Abaddon. Escape back, Sunstrike came through, Ame back over, and now they're going to try and get the kill on Mira. They've got the Dragon Tail and the damage to follow it up, and eventually Mira will be dead to the breathe fire from Ame.
The spells are not connecting. They're not on the same page with Sunstrikes, but the side lanes are doing good. MOUZ loves to be left alone in the situation where he's playing against enemy carry, unless it's some Ursa, unless it's something that's going to be pushing him out of the lane. So for now, he continues to farm up, and so is Abaddon. He's getting the levels. Mira
get
now to the bottom lane.
Ice Pass Sunstrike. That lands. Toss up. And XXS saved so far by the disruption, eventually falling to Kaori. Not in time from the Shadow Demon. Full support's needed to get this kill. He really wants to get into this relic as quickly as possible. Get a replay. Sunstrike?
It looked like it was there, but I think the angle, because it's a low ground.
That weird, like, hill.
Yeah.
That's that waterfall that isn't really... doesn't translate to the way the map we overlook it. Spear Sunstrike again, Impalement Arts, but VTune, as he does, rotates over to try and get these early kills. Escape back to the Ice Path to get the kill next. Nova, they look over at Ame, and that's going to be 2 more for Aurora. This is something they've done really well throughout the tournament. It's these rotations from VTune, and they are so ready to just go at a moment's notice.
First arena, they get the kill, and also they killed the courier from Ame. It's not like the most important thing, but his Mask of Madness is gonna be delayed. So that also means that your farm is not gonna be as fast. We'll even see if Ame decides to TP to this lane or if he decides to bail.
You said it earlier, and I've been thinking about it in some part of my brain since, because I got to focus as well. But VTune, you said he has a similar playstyle to Nightfall and similar hero pool. Yeah, there are so many carries that are out there. It makes me wonder if, like, that's the reason they chose him. Is he so similar to Nightfall? And I say this as he gets chased, holding a skill point in the pocket for borrowed time. Doesn't end up dying, and now XXS, he's the one who's getting chased back. Ice Path connects, and Sunstrike's gonna be there with the toss as they'll get the kill on XXS, ripped it over, and VTune never borrowed time. He said he's too good to borrow time, and unfortunately that cost him his life. Disruption on the TP out, and yeah, you got yourself a kill on XXS, but you just gave up 3 for it, and top lane, they want to chase for WS, but they just don't have the follow-up.
The stacks from Shadow Demon. This is 1-1-3 build from Shadow Demon. So he was ready with the damage. I think he also had a couple of Menace stacks coming out from SD. Now Ame pressuring WS.
A lot of similarities for Nightfall, and well, V2 now just trying to recover after losing that fight. This time definitely has the borrowed time. No more being greedy. Not something that maybe he was expecting to just die like that. And comparatively to Ame having a much better time. One of the rare deaths you'll see on VTune. Gets one more, he's going to up that average. What'd you say, 1.75?
1.75, yeah.
Huh?
It's even better
After last game.
after last game because he did not die a single time. Meteor finally completed on Mikoto. It's a lot of damage. Like, this hero kills these tier 1 towers. Like, even tier 2 towers after you take a fight with Meteor, Hammer, with Forge Spirits. Mira trying to play with Invoker. Hammer Spirit is very tanky. Flame Guard being taken away immediately by a Tornado. And yeah, you said Ame. He's on top of the net worth. Abaddon really not keeping up. And only the net worth difference is going to be even bigger in the next couple of minutes because you farm so quickly on Dragonite, you have stacks that you can work with, and Abaddon still doesn't have his Radiance.
Not going to have as good of a timing as last game. He did move over, and they did get a couple of kills. He's 1-1 in 3s, involved in 4 of the 5, but I feel like there was more going on for VTune as he moved around a lot. He had come over mid a couple times as well to help out, but maybe much more stationary to the outer parts, the side lanes of the game so far. Like I said, he just wants to get this Radiance online whenever he can, and maybe he'll fight then. TP over from FY. X-Nova's in the vicinity there too. Impalement Arts on a Kaori. Ice Pass that's off the mark. But they do tame the beasts, and they tame the Jakiro. So Kaori did again.
Blink reveal now on WS. They are ready to jump in. Ame, they need extra bit of damage. Mikoto.
Sunstrike still with the avalanche and the toss. They're looking for the damage onto Ame.
He's toggling.
Yeah, he's toggling that armlet. They've got the Searing Chains. Can they get onto Ame? No, they can't. There's 3 heroes standing in the way of V2 from committing. The Arena Spear combo just a touch off
I know there's going to be a lot of
Get it.
kick W's in the chat, but as a MOUZ player, this is also not sometimes the easiest thing to execute. Still going to grab a kill here, WS. Still having a good game. Good timing on that Blink Dagger, double bracer. They're trying to go through the Twin Gate. No stuns available. Oh, it's off cooldown.
Just came off cooldown. FY is going to disrupt, but there isn't much in ways of him surviving on this one, and they want to they want to get him to that Radiance ASAP.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Ame gets the kill on Kaori and finishes off the tower. Blink Dagger getting delivered to XXS. Things are going to be much easier for them to take the fight. This damage from Slardar and Dragonite is still going to be through the roof. You lose one fight, they're going to take an objective. Either a tower, Roshan, Tormentor, or a part of your base if it's close to it. Mira.
Blink Crush. Mira. Toss, and no mana left. Ame's also here. This is an eventual death for Mira.
Definitely regrets eating that Lotus. That's a medium Lotus that can definitely make a difference in a fight.
Just allows Ame to continue to farm and go for the Blink Dagger. This combo of DK and Slardar is...
It's nasty.
Disgusting. What is the counter for Aurora against it?
They have Abaddon, who doesn't die, and he also has a Photic Shield, so he can protect his own teammates if necessary. Tiny, with Grow, he's going to be getting some extra armor. Invoker usually doesn't build into armor items, but I could maybe see him pick up Shiva's Guard this game, because you are playing against Dragonite, you are playing against Slardar. Could come in very handy. Supports will need to take care of it. I think Jakiro might need to... Ooh, Kaori is going for a really greedy build. Just straight up Shard. Okay. I would prefer if this is a Solar Crest. You are playing against 2 physical damage cores, like even 3.
Sunstrike
Here does connect.
Another kill from
pick it
Makoto.
up.
Pushing him closer to that Ags. He wants the Cataclysm with the Agent of Galaron. Sounds like it could be an Eldrazi. Galaron.
Sounds like a good name. Very good name.
Tier 1 bottom, going to be pressured by the Jakiro as well as the Abamars. And more gold for them to put under their belt. Close up the map a little bit. And VICION is starting to catch up. He was about 2,000-ish down, maybe a little bit more. Now only sits 1,000 behind Ame. So he's doing a good job of moving around the map. He's got this Radiance, and he is making headway. Mira really wants this Blink Dagger. Set up his Searing Chains, Wheel of Wonder, Tame the Beasts, all there for you on this Mars, and WS kind of caught in no man's land and ends up dead on the mid lane.
Wanted to go for extra creep wave. You do one-shot creep wave with Spear and God's Rebuke, so you kill it pretty quickly. But unable to get out. We didn't talk too much about, nothing to say, his itemization, Phase Boots, Urn of Shadows, straight into BKB. No abilities that go through debuff immunity, so he's gonna be fine in every single fight. And also his shield cannot be taken down by Invoker, which is still very good amount of damage that he's dealing, so a lot of protection coming out from that BKB. This has to be one of the earliest ones, probably the earliest BKB on Ember Spirit.
Nothing to say, not wanting to be kited, bro, so he is staying alive as much as he can. Smoke used by Aurora. And they're gonna make a move over and see if they can intercept Xtreme. The scan connects, and now that means Xtreme just disperse. I say they disperse. XXS gets away. Blink from the wrong position from XXS. And now FY might have the disruption, or they might just blink in. Slither and Crush to get the kill on Amira. Throws an avalanche in desperation, but they were ready for that one. Had those special vests on that protect them from the avalanches.
Nothing to say. Yep, popping that BKB, that's why he bought it.
Gets the kill, continues on, and that early BKB, not paying massive dividends right now, but anything to stay alive and get more gold, get these kills, and not give up the advantage that they've got, it's going to feel really good for them. They finally have this axe for Invoker.
It makes the fights easier as well. Dragonite also with a second BKB.
Yeah, his timing's pretty huge. Fastest than the previous record by minute 24. built in all 100% of the matches, the 8 matches there. Meteor, Avalanche, Deafening Blast in the toss. That's a dead XXS. Mikoto putting it together with the help of the Tiny, and we're staying even on these kills. The difference, for the most part, is the farm on Shadow Demon and DK, but it is quite tight.
I just want to see how much this this shard on Jakiro that he rushed is gonna pay off. Kaori is a bit farm-heavy oriented 5. We've seen it when he's playing Warlock, when he's playing his Phoenix, that he does tend to jungle a lot, while the rest of the team is making the moves. But so far, hasn't really paid off. I would still prefer if this is an armor item, if this is Solar Crest, because you're playing against Dragonite and Slardar, have that protection. Even just casual Pavis would do the trick.
Both teams just scanned and connected with each other. Expecting this fight to pop off, they'll send V-Tune at the front. With the Radiance, with the Aphotic Shield, with the borrowed time, but the arena comes in, XXS. Ooh, Cataclysm dropping down, but there's the save from FY. They had that save, they had the vision ready to go. Kaori's gonna be the first one to die in this fight. WS down to about half health. They're gonna buy back up the Jakiro. Ame's got another one on Namira. Tame the Beast sends the Abaddon packing back into the hands of XXS as well as Ame. They're gonna borrow some time, but how much will they get? Not getting hit, not healing up. Tornado flies through, so their crush misses. Dual Breath on, nothing to say, but can they re-engage on this? FY's trying to chase, he's got the Glimmer Cape, he's trying to find himself a disruption to get some more going for Xtreme. But buyback committed by Kaori, 3 kills there for the side of Xtreme, and that works wonders as they were the ones who were countering on the initiation that came from the Mars.
And then Shadow Demon, like playing into double save makes it very difficult if you're not getting the initial jump onto them. So very good positioning from Xtreme supports. And this will be the shard coming out to FY. Very good shard. Extra bit of a heal. The spell mechanic as well. Wheel of Wonder. And then he manages to get vision. FY gets the save. That Cataclysm looked really good. I think if they take out Slardar, the fight is much, much easier for them. But also fighting into 2 BKBs, you can see that right now, Aurora, they don't have enough. They don't have enough kiting potential. Somebody gets stunned by Slardar or Dragonite. That hero is gonna die.
Makes me think you just gotta jump the Shadow Demon first.
Sounds like a good idea, but sometimes it's not as
easy as it said.
Yeah,
But it was a good idea?
it was.
Hell yeah.
Tiny also didn't have Blink Dagger in that fight. We'll have it now. Then you will have extra bit of lockdown. He might be able, like, also just having vision in the fight where you are getting the initial jump. They also hesitated a little bit. This is something that can happen when you play Mars, that spear back into the arena that he missed initially top. Sometimes it can affect you, the way you're going to be approaching the next fight, because you don't want to be the first initiator on Mars a lot of the times. It does feel bad. So you want somebody to create the chaos, Tiny maybe to go in, go for the toss back, and then you go with the second round, like when you collect the information, when they group up around the target, maybe then it's a better way to jump in. And Mikoto with the Aghanim Scepter. Unfortunately, in the previous fight, it did not connect.
Need these Cataclysms to do more. It's not that big combo like with Overgrowth or Ravage or something like that. BKB for nothing to say. Comes through. Kaori chased up and eventually dies to the Ember Spirit. Does get the BKB down to 6 seconds, so maybe they could work with that from nothing to say now that it's lower, and Aurora might have an answer with the lower times on the BKB. Have that secondary charge in.
It's down to 6 seconds, so he's gonna pop it every single time.
Yeah,
he
immediately.
really does not care. That 9-second BKB also got them only the kill on the support, but this is, I believe, is it full Kai Assange? Or is that just a component? Okay, it's just a component for the Aghanim Scepter. He did buy Shard on Ember Spirit.
Double Impalement Arts. Mira is going to throw the Avalanche, and these Impalement Arts are quite a burden. He's got Blink in a second, but the Blink away.
That looks like straight out of cartoon.
Oh, Wile E. Coyote against the Roadrunner.
That's what I was thinking. What was the sound? Is it beep beep or meek meek? Beep beep, beep beep.
Well, M-E-E-P. Meep, meep. Then I gotta draw a fake Roshan pit and have you run full speed into it. Brought to you by Acme.
This actually happens in real life. I saw a video that like these two animals are actually chasing each other. We'll Google it later. I'll show it to you. I saw it the other day.
Surprised he didn't send me that one.
I'm a boomer. It also could be AI.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah,
After I heard you sing SpongeBob, I don't know what you're watching. Check this out. It's totally real. Yeah, all right. You've got Makoto just continuing to farm with that Meteor Hammer, getting the cams together, but there is a smoke from the side of Xtreme. 4 heroes while Ame takes the mid-tier 1. Got to be tight and reactive for Aurora. The tier 2 is going to be glyphed, and the blink now for Vici. So he went in the last game Radiant's blink, but this time wants the Manta. And let's head the Manta first to survive.
Yeah, for this game it makes more sense. You're playing against Slaughter, Searing Chains. You want to get out of it.
Crush, Mars caught, but the BKB into the arena. The spear lands on Ame. Nothing to say, is going in deep with his 6-second BKB. WS is already dead with the Ice Path landing on a 2. Hits nothing to say on the back end. They've got the EMP, but it's off the mark. These heroes are already retreating. They hit Kaori, they get the kill. The disruption is there for the save, but XXS blinks away, and Vici is kind of in a bad spot. He needs some help. Deafening blast onto Ame. Vici now hit with the Tame the Beast to send him back into that little corner he's hiding in. But Aurora just have no answers for the pressure from Xtreme at the moment.
Very difficult. Again, Mars jumps in, fighting into BKBs. If you don't land that spear into the arena, your initiation is not going to be as good. So I feel they need to let Tiny start a fight, and then they need to let Mars go in second. And Roshan does feel like it belongs to Xtreme Gaming, unless they can somehow manage to snatch it. Sunstrike is ready.
DOTA plus 31% to 32% to 68%. Not nice. Ame. He'll retreat and smoke back with the rest of his team. As Vici showed up for a second. They don't get the Roche, the Aegis, as this is going to be a big point of contention. If Aurora can get this Aegis and slow down the game, they'll have time to get another item under into their pockets for their heroes.
They're waiting out. Next 10 seconds, 2 BKBs are going to reset. And the full wrap around, it seems like they are expecting this maneuver. XXX gonna be the first one to break the smoke.
Vici at the front line, and he will be forced to pop that borrowed time very early. Kaori has the Aphotic Shield for some save. The Macro Pyre splitting up the fight, but XXS is in with the blink as well as the Slither Crush. Little Kale, and we're all paused here. Yeah, we froze. They all just almost ran off the mountain. Meep, meep.
It was a nice play from Ame to jump in like that and make sure that he pops the borrowed time immediately, which makes it very difficult for Abaddon to join the fight. They also didn't focus him down, sitting at 900 HP. He can't join the fight anymore, even though they have this arena. XXS Blink Dagger is on cooldown, and BKB, let's see if they're gonna try to take the fight. Doesn't feel like they can. Mira's also kind of in an awkward position on the other side.
Ame's a little low, but like you said, they just cannot re-engage, and they'll end up just losing both supports. Do they stay to try and dissuade
Mikoto still
XG
has the
from
full
Roche?
combo, so they might try to do it. They might try to set things up. Buyback available on Tiny. Unfortunately, he doesn't have TP ready, so he can't TP to an outpost.
Tornado splits through, and these heroes in XG have dispersed. They've left the area, and it doesn't really give the opportunity for Aurora to want to commit in. They don't have borrowed time, so they're not going to go for Roche. Had they been able to maybe sneak it out, would have been quite the get for him. Makoto really wants this BKB, hoping to have a little bit more freedom in these fights. But Xtreme up this much. Are they just going for Roche? Is that just the game plan reset, get there, maybe wait for it to come bottom?
And not necessarily. They can still try to make an action happen. Makoto's trying to push in deep. Nothing to say so far, having a perfect game. Really big fan of this early BKB that he did purchase, so it cannot be dispelled. Means that he is getting the damage in, and also went for level 15 talent, 100% Flame Guard DPS.
Ags is flying out for him. Gonna make him that much maneuverable. Avalanche as well as the toss, and now the Yules, but they're gonna get a kill here on X. Over the probably trade Mira. No, he's able to get out. They've got the spear that's gonna land on the Shadow Team, and they go for the Cataclysm. That's the combo that they needed, but Vichu's just dead! He had borrowed time still! Oh no!
He got crit. Daedalus on Dragon Knight. It did not proc. Gotta click it manually.
The sands of time fall away from this Abaddon, and now the rest.
Look at these
They
remnants.
are in trouble. Makoto's dead too. Nothing to say with a double kill, and they got Ame. They had gotten everything that they wanted, but unfortunately, without Vici having that second pseudo-life, they lose this fight. Mira's now looking like he's going to be caught, but XXS not committed. What was that last shot? The last shot hit for 507 from this DK. And Abaddon, green diamond is filled in, which means he did have borrowed time.
A bit unlucky. From his perspective, we can see Vitun not too happy about this one. They need some extra armor. I gotta say again, not a big fan of Jakiro's out of this shard. Is not really doing it. That he purchased, it's super greedy. And let's see it again. Vitun, he goes in, Cataclysm, 1000 crit coming up from Dragon Knight.
Never was able to get it off. Maybe he could have preemptive, but bit of a mistake, and they do get Ame. And this could have been so good for Aurora. Unfortunately now, you know, they don't get that kill. Vici set back. Nothing to say, is continuing to just develop a massive net worth and huge impact in this game. Guess the silver lining is the fact that XG didn't take Roche.
Yeah, I mean, Abaddon still struggles against the break coming out from Shadow Demon, because you, especially if you can have a silence on top of that, and if he doesn't Manta style it off, he can still die. Right now, they don't have any silences available, but eventually they might get them. And this is a very interesting pickup from Vitun. Going for the Basher, but wants to have maybe extra bit of lockdown for this Dragon Knight, or extra bit of a lockdown for these BKBs once they decide to jump in, hold them in place for Cataclysm. It's unreliable, but he will get a couple of bashes in. And two massive items on Xtreme Gaming. Satanic on Dragon Knight, and also Aghanim Scepter on Slardar. That extra bit of status resistance, being super tanky, is gonna come in handy. Mira,
Blanche
he's
toss
in.
back. Mira wants this kill on Ame once again. Vichu's there, they land the spear, but it pushes him away from the Abaddon. The Wheel of Wonder splits up the fight. Mira, he's dead, so is Kaori. Vichu's already used the Aphotic Shield, so he's going to be forced to pop that Manta to get back a little bit, but he goes and blinks in on Ame. Now the Dragon Tail comes out, they got to be careful about the crits. They go to the arena, they land the spear, it's going to be through on FY. Sunstrike just focused on him. They get the kill to Kaori again. FY, he's dead. Buybacks from both supports. WS with the BKB, he's trying to get away, but the blink over from Vici once more to get away from these heroes on the side of XG, but now focusing on nothing to say. Right clicks in, Dragon Tail hits, XXS follows it up, and he's just controlled too much. He went in, Mars TP'd out. Vici had other plans. He wanted to go for the side of XG. Mira's in trouble. He's dead once more. He bought back Cataclysm this time. The damage on another to say the guards rebuke. They get him. XXS Deafening Blast to slow him down. And that will mean Makoto gets back safely, but Ame still alive. Salvaging something by getting that kill and nothing to say, but it costs so much.
Ame didn't even click a BKB or Satanic in the previous fight. They jumped him. This is not the target that they want to be going for first, because they don't have that instant lockdown. You have Avalanche toss into potentially a spear, Ice Bat, but it's not enough. Like, you can also mess it up, and then you're kind of in a situation where you're going to lose the fight because of it. And also, this was the double buyback coming out from the supports on Aurora. Abaddon doesn't seem to be able to get much done. I think they need AC. I think they just needed to have extra bit of protection. I think the easy way to itemize against full physical damage lineup is, I already said, Jakiro not having Solar Crest, instead opted to go for his Shard. I think that's one of the mistakes. I think Mars could have also maybe slot in Crimson Guard as a part of his itemization, and then AC on Abaddon instead of this Basher.
Guess the
It's purely defensive, but it's also offensive in terms of you using Solar Crest on one of the cores, plus Alacrity. Maybe they're thinking we lack a little bit of damage, so this Basher plus Alacrity is gonna secure us the kill, give us control slightly during the BKBs.
And instead of the Solar Crest and potential earlier, you know, success from Aurora, he's got Shard, Ghost Scepter, and he's looking for a Glimmer Cape. But Kaori, he's almost exclusively dead in fights before he really does anything.
Yeah, so you're dead because you don't have anything defensive, which also means that you can't really deal damage.
Yeah. And that's a big issue. WS, BKB forced with the Remnants over. And he just gets out of dodge, making sure he can avoid being punished by Xtreme. He wants Refresher Lincolns. He'd love to have that second Arena Spear in BKB. We'll see if it's enough. They show that they have damage to maybe get one, get two. But when it comes to these longer, drawn-out fights...
They don't have enough. They run out of power. They don't have enough damage, and they can't reset. This Dragonite has been a menace to deal with, now holding the Aegis for another 3 minutes. A lot of synergy between their heroes, not just Dragonite and Slaughter, even Ember Spirit. At least they killed him in the previous fight. WS... No, it was actually Mikoto who got the last hit. Or was it WS?
Tornado EMP, I think it was WS.
So now Refresher online on Mars.
Ice Path Link Spear. Meteor's down. Maybe they could get the Aegis, but escape backed and disarmed. Forced to leave, and Ame is going to reset a little bit. Try and heal up. They've got a Remnant he could come back on. Nothing to say. Still working for 2 minutes with this Aegis. You got a lot of time to make it happen. You don't have to force anything too quickly, but these heroes on the side of Aurora, they leave the base, and Xtreme never really made the full ditch. So Mira's just dead. These three heroes jump him immediately. They're forced to pop that Manta on V-Tune. They kind of crept out of that base without the information that Xtreme stayed. Maybe they saw Ember at top and expected that everybody had left. That wasn't the case.
They need to pull off the big combo. They need double Arena into Cataclysm. First Arena probably going to be during the BKBs because they're going to be able to click it. They don't have that instant initiation, instant stun that can lock them down, lock the heroes from 100 to 0. You're also playing into 2 defensive supports. FY, Vlad's online on him. Ether Lens, which means that he can keep the distance. He's giving the buffs to his Dragonite. Solar Crest plus Vlad's. That's a lot of buffs.
Minute, 15 seconds. They've got Nullifier now on V-Tune. Maybe that's the item necessary to get these kills. XXS goes in on a WS. He's got the Aphotic Shield, but on the backline, it's nothing to say. He goes after Kaori. And again, Kaori just cannot survive these engagements. Nullifier, Dragon Tail, and is trying to force the borrowed time out of V-Tune. Eventually, it just pops on its own. And now he won't have that coming into the next few minute and a half engagements. Remnants out of the back out. Mikoto, he's got the BKB of his own. They get the kill on Amir. They're taking the Tiny. They've got the arena around Ame. But Ame's still working with an Aegis. This isn't worth it. If V-Tune doesn't have borrowed time, 4 heroes dead without buyback. GG is called. And Xtreme, they'll continue the trend of going the distance at this PGL Wallachia.
Very well executed draft. 2 supports, the lanes did really well. NTS kind of was controlling the tempo of the game, and then all they had to do is group around Dragonite. They kited this Abaddon multiple times.
Another game 3 here for Xtreme Gaming, and now Aurora as well. See who takes the better of the third one. First game, all Aurora. Second game, all Xtreme. And they will clash in this third one, Lacoste. But what are you thinking over there?
I'm just thinking that we need to see more Medusa. I feel like this hero is in a really good... Like, it's not a top-tier pick by any means, but on 24, I think we're going to be seeing it more and more. This hero can go for 2 different builds, depending what you're going to be playing against. We saw, like, yesterday an attempt to go for Manta-style Butterfly Silver Edge. It never came down to that, but also the magic damage dealing Medusa is also super good. With Mjolnir, with Aghanim Scepter, Mira being the first point of contact, trying to bait a little bit, nothing to say.
Her spike was in, they had the stun, Mira getting run at and killed. Now WS might be next on the list. He's only got Whirling Death. They will have Earth Spike again. And Blood Grenade, the Earth Spike, it all lands. They'll get in front of him. They don't want himself to get denied to Roche. And Ame is going to get the kill there. That is going to be 2 for the side of Xtreme. Already a lot of gold for Nothing to Say over in the mid lane, who wants that early bottle.
Very nice play from Nothing to Say, because he did not want to take away the second kill as well. He was like, all right, here you go, Medusa, you're going to need it. So he gives a kill to Ame as well. He already has purchased the stick. So that's going to be even the full magic one, because you got the first blood, so you're getting all of those extra regen, extra bit of a mana, HP that you definitely need. Also, you're playing into a matchup that you kind of like to play into. This is a Void Spirit favorite matchup. You're seeing also different builds throughout the whole game. You will have Catch, you will have Lion. So not an easy game for Mikoto by any means. And also, if Ame, and knowing Ame, he loves to go for the other build that I talked about, that he loves to go for Mjolnir build. And Medusa, pretty much, like if we talk about the Butterfly, a lot of the times you need to buy Butterfly against Anti-Mage, against these heavy physical damage dealing cores like Templar Assassin. But also, you having that Mjolnir, it's just insane amount of farm and damage that you can throw onto your either Void Spirit, even your Mars. So, want to see in which direction he goes to. I remember watching him like a couple of months back. Every single time he did go for that build, which he thinks it's a superior build.
Coda getting locked up by the Aether Remnant for a second. Just to expand on that, I mean, they have multiple ways of jumping. They have a good team fight here from Xtreme. We'll see how Ame's lane goes, because it might just be a free one down here bottom against WS. Chen, he's got to be the sustain here for Xtreme, and I feel like a lot of the weight is kind of falling onto Mikoto on this puck. He's got to have a decent enough lane to kind of move over and make sure... Oh, that courier is going to die. And he's got to make sure he can move over, use these early coils, maybe get a kill on a couple of these heroes, and pick off these supports. But Ame, at least for the time being, he's going to feel pretty safe down here. And WS... How does he do against Medusa? Is this a kill lane for him at all, or is it just, hey, I'm up against Chen and Medusa, I'll get what I can take?
He's not going to be, like, threatening a kill on Medusa, I would say, especially because he loves to spam. Magic Wand is going to be full on Medusa, has 2 mangoes. Lotus is spawning in 20 seconds. Lane's going to get pushed in, so most likely Ame is going to be picking up that Lotus anyway. And I think Chen can also go for the rotations. Chen can go... Mid is not really a lane where you can rotate to, but if the lane's being pushed in like this, the top lane, he can definitely go for the Twin Gate rotation.
Noticing in this bottom lane that Mira, he's got a sentry on the Radiant camp, but then also he's blocking the other one, making sure that Chen has access to nothing, because for the most part, that Hellbear was zoning him out of the lane. Mira was struggling to even stay nearby.
He has another summon. Just summoned another Hellbear.
Life is tough. Has another Hellbear and doesn't want to give anything up and make sure Chen is, well, now again, throwing that Hellbear over at Mira. Just follow. Right-click follow. Just continue to chase this Shadow Demon to the ends of the earth. Kaori is now dead to FY, and that's another kill here that works out for the Lions. So he's 1-0-2.
This is also a combo that they will have throughout the game. Lion with Mana Drain, replenishing mana to his Medusa. Chen, want to see what kind of build he's going to be going for. Probably like drums, Solar Crest. These are the items that Medusa likes to have on the team. Mech, not as much. Doesn't really do anything to Medusa. Such a weird hero. Like, a lot of these things don't like even work on the hero. Like, you gotta be careful how you itemize as well as a team.
Definitely got to be careful. Spear back onto V-Tune. FY just throwing an Earth Spike in. That's all he wants, just to put some harassment on. But he's got to be careful about the damage that comes in from the Jakiro. XXS happy with the lane so far, 22-4. Mid lane, seems like no surprise that Nothing to Say is ahead, but not by much. He's got 7 eyes, but Makoto kind of keeping up in the CS department. Life's going to get even more annoying, by the way, over bottom, because he's got the Harpy Stormcrafter and the Hellbear to work with now. And WS, you can already see, he's kind of sitting here low. Ame is just having a free game, but he's got to get a little bit more. CS, he's bottom of the chart of the course. Not the quick game for a Medusa, never really is. FY dual breath on him, he ends up dead. Makoto kind of avoiding this gank, and now Kaori looking for the high five. Is Nothing to Say. He doesn't really have an answer for the fact that, well, his support just died.
It was close to level 6. Even after getting this kill, Makoto's still not level 6, and Nothing to Say already is. I guess those 2 kills that they got at the start are making the difference. FY will TP rotate to the mid lane with double jump on Nothing to Say. They could definitely grab a kill on one of the supports on the side.
Coming over at the 6-minute marker, and this is a rune bottom. X-Nova's on it. Bring over a couple of creeps. Dream Coil even committed. Illusory Orb jaunt over where the Hellbear and the Vul Assassin are there with X-Nova. And FY also going to go bottom, so they might make a move to try and get a kill with this Medusa, leaving the Mars to his own accord.
Vul
He's gonna be
Assassin
forced to TP out of the lane.
We don't see this creep for a good reason. It's not very good against most of the stuff, but it's good against Timbersaw. It does reduce the region by 75%.
Damn.
It's the other weapon, and both of them look like the same weapon. I did the same mistake by clicking on it.
The treads picked up there for Ame, who we'll see if he has any help from both these sports. They did come over once. They're not going to try and dive the shrine. At the same time, there are stacks being made by the Shadow Demon, who will then be able to move over and get the shrine of his own. So stacks inside the triangle, getting those ready for later. Whether those will be for the Timbersaw or maybe Templar Assassin wants to pick those up for a quicker first item. If he wants to move off the top lane, V-Tune, we know we've talked about how he likes to move all around the entirety of the map. I don't think he's afraid to go Twin Gate if they have the opportunity to Dream Coil with a pump.
Maybe with
they've
coil.
got everybody.
Yeah. They need Dream Coil, so it needs to be synced up. It needs to be him going through the Twin Gates, Bucketer getting the rune, or TP rotating to the lane. Which I think it's not going to be an easy thing to happen. Most likely just going to continue to farm up. Also, Templar Assassin, she farms so quickly. But we are seeing V-Tune rotate to the mid lane.
He's done this
8,
before.
10 minutes in, making sure that they are grabbing that rune. And it's going to be bottom.
Shield rune. Denied by Mira. Nobody gets the rune.
Chen got Invis rune at 6 minutes. Not what you really want to have, but denying it away from Puck, who used Coil to try to get it himself.
Not getting access to any of those runes. It's something we talked about in previous Puck games where you want to accelerate your game with access to those power runes. Not getting any so far, and it's been a bit of a quiet game from Makoto. Kind of a quiet game overall. Just 4 kills, and Makoto back into the jungle to continue his farming adventure. Who does this benefit with it going this quiet? I want to say both carries are okay with this to a point, especially with Templar Assassin wanting that quick Deso timing.
Medusa likes to just have a bit of a slower game. This is the hero that is going to carry most of the games. I see that WS is going straight for Yasha Kaya. By Yasha Kaya, I mean Kaya Sanj. No auras, no nothing, just straight up. Maybe he's thinking that his mana, also like mana loss reduction against Lion, is going to be annoying later down the line. Medusa will be picking up this Purser at one point of the game, but this gives him tankiness. Doesn't feel like he needs to have any kind of aura in this game. No pipe, no crimson.
Just Kaya Sanj. Got that kill on the Chen. Rolling Death gets credit for that one, and WS now focused by Xnova as well as Ame.
I think Neutral stole away 2 of his creeps. He tried to get more farm, didn't even finish the neutrals. Now, now going into the triangle.
Back up towards those stacks that are being made here by Mira, and he gets another set of them over in this triangle. Not really much they could do in terms of contesting these. Throw out the chakrams, leave those to shred away. All right, and WS just needs to be a little careful. He's fine now. Get a little nervous. We've seen a lot of heroes die to neutrals throughout this tournament.
Yeah, we did.
Ame just back in the edge and farming as much as he can. He's got this Yasha. So, you know, the quiet game is just one of those that maybe to the viewer isn't as exciting, but there is always
something happening.
That fuse that's lit. Eventually, it's all going to explode. As we talk more about Acme and Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
FY trying to collect some XP in the mid lane to get his level 6 online.
Yeah.
The burst damage against Puck, so then he can play with Void Spirit. XXS continues to farm up in the top lane. And so is Templar Assassin. This Desolator, if left completely uncontested, Templar Assassin does get it between 12 and 13 minute mark, depending whether she's got a kill or 2 in the laning stage. So far, 0-0-0 on V-Tune.
Just trying to tune up. Get to that Deso. A little shocking that maybe they're not playing as aggressive on Xtreme, but no reason to. Mars now going into the Blink Dagger. He wants that. Kaya's being built for the Void Spirit as much as he's got that jump to have that control. They don't have that burst damage yet from the Lion. He just unlocks that with level 6, and that could be the marker in which now you can get this big burst and nuke somebody down. So it wouldn't surprise me if they hold up a smoke. Try and go for something potentially off the 12-minute rune. XXS is in the area, but 3 heroes go for the rune, which will show up bottom. So that is 3 for 3. Or, well, 3 for 4, I believe, bottom. I think I missed one of those in there. But a lot of them spawning bottom, a lot of that camped up top by the Dire, and they have not been lucky or fortunate with that up to this point. But they do smoke the Shadow Demon as well as the Puck. They're going to go towards top and go for XXS. Close enough to the 14-minute timing, or maybe if they stick around afterwards, but they can play some deep vision in. All that going on, FY is going to get the kill into Kaori. He'll use that finger and get himself not that initial stack. So he did just use the finger and got the kill, but no stack for him. Makoto's over here with a Dream Coil. They've got the Templar Assassin, but he's in a good spot inside the trees. He's allowed to hold himself. Now the arena gets used in defense. Aether Remnant connects onto this Shadow Demon. XXS is still going to die to Mira. Disruption out, and it ends up being a trade that he lost XXS, so favors Aurora.
Getting 2 kills. I mean, they just killed the support in the mid lane as well, and also something that's going to be very good throughout the whole game is creating illusions out of Medusa. Shadow Demon is a very good hero against Medusa throughout the whole game. Doesn't care too much about ulti, because she is the type of hero that will stand her ground and just keep attacking. You can't really kill her. So Demonic Purge is going to be used on somebody else, most likely Mars. Void Spirit also not the best target because he can jump away to Astral Step plus Dissimulate. And Ame, he does continue to farm up, almost finishes off his Manta style. 21 charges. Slower game, as expected. Both of the carries are fine with getting that extra bit of a farm. And very cool neutral item as well on Ame, considering that he's super tanky, does have Chipped West. Mystical Chipped West, extra bit of mana regen, exactly what you need. So if you decide to focus her down, a lot of that damage is going to be reflected.
They're trying to put some pressure on with this level 3 and the liquid fire over bottom in that lane. They got that tower. Tier 1 over mid, now being pressured by XG, but Kaori and Mira are here with Makoto, who doesn't have a lot of mana to play with. But might have a rotation of one more as you see Timbersaw walking through the river. Can they make sure this doesn't get denied? Uh-oh. They've left it low. They didn't quite get the kill on it. See if Aurora allow that to live, or if they do just deny that. Timbersaw not needed to go fully over to deter them from sticking on the tier 1 tower. There's that Manta finished off, but Templar Assassin, who's been untouched, unharmed, Desolator, and almost the Blink Dagger. And that is a big jumping off point for Templar Assassins. You have that ability to jump burst with the Meld Strike, have that Desolator. Life becomes a little bit more dangerous for these two supports on the side of Xtreme Gaming. Lion actually topping the support net worth. Usually we see these Chens. They find their farm and get some space and use these creeps.
He didn't get too much farm on X-Nova. It was mostly Medusa farming in the part of the map where usually Chens tend to get a lot of farm. And also, no new item for now is just mana boots. It is mana replenish for Medusa. Chen doesn't really utilize that much mana. But I want to see a couple of auras. I'd like to see drums. I'd like to see maybe even a solar crest. But extra bit of protection against TA and also attack speed on your Medusa. Blink Dagger, not yet available on XXS. He finds an opening.
Committed onto the Jakiro. Nothing to say is here. The Astral Step across. They've also got the finger. They should get this kill out of the Templar Assassin. Kaori, V2 both taken out. Good moves here from Xtreme to get both those kills. Well-placed Arena by XXS on the edge without giving up the vision that he was there. And then was able to make all sorts of moves with the rest of the team.
And this was also before he picked up a Blink Dagger. And now this tower feels like it belongs to them, but Mikoto has amplified damage, so they will take the fight.
Dream Coil, all are healed. FY, he's the one who's spotted. They've got the Waning Rift as well as the Whirling Death, and that does cause him some pain and a death. Spear connects, but the Chakram on top of XXS, he's slowed up to the point where they're able to chase. XXS chased down all the way to the tier 1 tower to get that second one, and Ame needs to leave. He's got X-Nova for some help, but WS is looking to continue on. Finds himself some Chen creeps instead, and Ame being pretty greedy trying to farm this ancient camp while the side of Aurora is actively in the triangle with him.
They still find something. They still find an opportunity. They kill 2 heroes after losing 2 and immediately off to the mid lane. This is, as you said, where Templar Assassin wants to get involved. Blink Dagger, Deso ready. Yet to get a Deso stack.
Not much on the Deso yet, but maybe later he'll find a couple kills. He ended up dying in the top lane. XXS taking advantage of that little pocket by the tower to get that arena in. Of course, there was the response, so Aurora didn't hurt too much for it, and I say didn't hurt too much for it. They're farming pretty well. They're 3K ahead. Out of Atos thrown over and locking up. Nothing to say for a second. He wants that early Aghanim Scepter, so he's going Kaya Ags.
Kaya Shard Ags. Shard allows you to get the farm. You put it down, it increases your farm. You don't have to be there. Extra creep wave that you don't feel comfortable going for.
But the Rod, Timber Chain doesn't connect, but the Macro Pyre is there. Doesn't matter anyway. Arena onto 2. Here comes Nothing to Say. The Spear connects. They get the kill to Kaori. They end up trading supports, but FY's in. Finger used. It's through onto WS. They need the Hex. They need the damage. They need the kill onto this Timber because he's now in the face of Ame. They already got the kill into FY. They took out the Lion, and Ame, he has not got a lot of mana left. He is in some trouble.
Eagle Stone in backpack.
He's dead too. Stone Gaze forced out. XXS is here. Now they'll land the Spear, but Ame with no mana left, no life available. Triple kill for WS, who's just standing tall. He is so tanky. XXS looking like he's going to be next. Timber Chain, Ultra kill. WS, shout out to you. That is a winning situation for WS with the Ultra under his belt.
Yeah, I want to see the damage numbers coming out from him in that fight. It's actually not that high compared to Ame, who dealt 5,000 damage alone
to get
and still lost the fight.
One kill.
Yeah, his Eagle Song got delivered. He had Branch available. Maybe he could have gotten a kill because of it. It's a lot of agi. It's a good amount of attack speed as well coming out from it. And now immediately going into Roche Pit, and we're gonna see it again.
WS, he is very confident in this Timbersaw hero he's got. Nothing to say. He ends up dying. Yeah, they get this kill on a Kaori, and Ame shows up, but I'm not really feeling the numbers. He's just split-shotting onto 4 heroes, but not really killing any of the heroes. And the silence onto the Void Spirit means he's got nowhere he's able to jump to.
If Figure is not used, like Chen is not damage. Mars, if he goes in, he uses Arena, his combo. He needs to wait for another round of spells, which is not damage, it's more about control. So it needs to be Void Spirit playing with Medusa, have a little bit of extra control to make sure that they have enough. If Medusa's left alone, she's gotta be countered.
Already the Gleipnir. XXS.
All right, this is a bit too much coming out from Timbersaw. This is Kaya, Sanj, and Gleipnir. This has to be like the fastest combination of these 2 items, especially because most of the Timbersaws are buying into 1 aura before, either a Pipe or a Crimson Guard, depending on the game. But this allows him to get extremely good scaling, and he's going for even another item that's going to amplify the damage. It's going to slow down Medusa, so I see Shiva's Guard. Maybe if he dies once, he's going to start thinking about potentially getting a BKB, but for now, things are going his way. So no need to change anything. Aegis up and running, almost full 4 minutes.
Looking like maybe the slow game, the slow burn from XG is burning them.
Yep. Kaori, it seems like he learned a lesson from the previous game. Can't really rush the shard on Jakiro. So instead he gets the Solar Crest. That's going to be protection, and that's going to be the increased damage coming out from your Templar Assassin.
You watch the VOD. Heard you say Solar Crest is a great item.
You like how I said we were critical?
Yeah, you're putting some of that blame on me.
Nah, I stand by what I say.
I stand by what you say. This tier 2 tower almost dead. Ice Path seeing the Void Spirit TPing in. But no follow-up to this at all. And Ame's going to need a lot of time to feel effective in these fights. He's got the butterfly soon, but oh, Chen has some help. Disruption top. And Ame, he's going to take some damage to the point where he's low on mana. And he doesn't have a wand, he doesn't have anything else. He's just dead. They even commit. Make sure that Coil was on the backlines to look for more. And they've got the silence to follow it up out of the nothing to save Void Spirit, who's trying to jump out of harm's way. Gosh, he is in a sticky situation.
Divine Favor gives them a huge amount of armor, but they are going for the high ground, forcing out the Glyph.
Playing too fast for this Medusa.
She's not fight ready yet. She definitely wanted to have that butterfly. WS, he's way too farmed. Now, even a casual plate mail for now, which is going to be turned into Shiva's Guard. No Aghanim Scepter on nothing to say. Feels like they need that jump. They need to be able to jump the back lines with the Mars, have a little bit of extra silence, extra bit of a control. Mars trying to find the opening, but the supports, look where Mira and Kaori are. They're so far behind.
Blink, Spear, still has an Aegis. Even if they get this kill on the Templar Assassin, this jump to try and kill the Templar Assassin just cost XXS his life. He's got buyback, but you're in a spot where if you use it, your game's kind of shut off completely. Nothing to say against the Aether Remnant down onto this Timbersaw. The Earth Spike follows it up, but WS doesn't care. What you saying? What you're saying is nothing. They look at Ame again, and he's melting. There's no more mana for him. He's going to try and do anything he can, but he's dead once more. I don't know what else they have in the tank for
GG. He calls it.
They call it that quickly. I mean, that was too fast, too furious from Aurora. Wow. 23 minutes.
Templar Assassin, like earlier, after in the morning, she was sitting at 100% win rate. She did lose a game or two, but this hero is a menace to deal with. Like, he was off to a very slow start, no kill.